Hello, 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 everybody. Shaka Khan and I coming in. Hopefully y'all can hear her. She doesn't sound like noise. But hello, my name is Sonja Marie, and I am here this evening to conduct a once in a while type of thing called the Eclipse Workshop. I love to share astrological information, as you may or may not know. Again, my name is Sonja Marie, and if you are new to my face, welcome to the space up in the place where the people are fresh. There is one DJ that can pass the test. Every now and again, I like to throw some music references, especially hip hop, because that's where I come from, and I hail from Yonkers, New York. And I have developed this awesome company called Wordlife Astrology. That's right, Wordlife Astrology. And the real reason why I call it Wordlife Astrology is because I give homage, respect, reverence to my upbringing. That's for ding dong damn sure. I love hip hop. I love the 80s. I love New York. I love all things that are real, rough, rugged, and raw. That's for sure. So in this forum, in this space, we talk about astrology. We talk about spirituality. We talk about the changes that are happening in the universe. We talk about things to make us better in the realest, rawest, dopest space available. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for flying on in, everybody. Medea is here. What's up? Hey, sweetie pie. Miss Alicia is here. Ann Weissman, hey. Angelique, the artist, and Loves Love. What up, Rachel? Hi, Bijou. What's going on, Laura? You slipped on in here for a couple of minutes, huh? What's happening, Regina Lines? Oh, these wonderful people and familiar faces, or I should say names. That's for ding dong, because I can't see anybody. I can't see you. Roxy's here. What up, homie? And Ramon is here. I'm so happy that you guys are rolling on in. I'm going to give people a few minutes to get the notification. Hi, Yuri. Get the notification and slide on in. Forgive me, your girl likes to sweat. I get it from my grandmother. So when I get nice and hot and ready and excited and passionate, or I just get out the shower and I'm moving around way too fast and doing way too much, I starts to sweat. So forgive me. Again, just taking a little few minutes for the people to roll on in. I'm so glad you're here. If you know anyone that is interested in astrology, especially these eclipses that are happening for the next 2 weeks, let them know now is the time. We are going down. Oh, thank you, Roxy. Do I look sexy? It's Scorpio season. You got to throw the sexy on in Scorpio season. You got to make that thing work. You know what I mean? What's up, Life Dance? So happy that you're here. Yes, and yes. So before we get started, I'd like to initially throw up an extreme thanks and a bout of appreciation to April, to Phoenix, to a sweet lady named Carrie, and Medea for all donating prior to this particular rundown / eclipse workshops. Thank you. Thank you for your faith and your trust in me, for delivering the information in the way that you know your heart will desire. That means a lot to me. It definitely means a lot. So if you're here and you'd like to offer up a donation, I'm going to ask you, please and very please do not hit the monetization button. Do not let YouTube know that I'm collecting money. And I say that not to be underhanded. I just say, because truly I'm having a really interesting time with the AdSense here on Google. So I'm like, you know what? I'm old school. We can do one or two things at one or two times. But I like the guerrilla kind of style. So if you'd like to donate to this particular broadcast workshop, $1, $2, $10, $50, $1,000, please hit up my Cash App at $Sonja Kamau. That's SonjaKamau. $Sonja Kamau. I would love if someone could be so kind to put that particular Cash App handle up. I'd appreciate that. Also, I'm on Venmo as well. If somebody can do the same, I just love assistance in that way. Just help a sister out. That's how we do. That's just how we do. Here's my Venmo is Sonja dash Marie dash the number one. Sonja dash Marie dash the number one. That's my Venmo. And then PayPal is SCRYBEBY SONJAMARIE @gmail. Again, that's SCRYBEBY SONJAMARIE @gmail. That's for the PayPal information. Again, Cash App is $Sonja Kamal, and Venmo is Sonja dash Marie dash the number one. I had to get that out the way. Thank you, Roxy, for helping the sister out. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate you, Rox. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bijou. Y'all the bomb diggity. So if you feel so inclined, go on and do that thing. Send me a nice little donation, or at the very least, just offer up your love, offer up your light, your protection, your understanding. Offer up some questions too. I am going to do my very best not to make this a 2-hour situation. So I'm going to run through this information. However, I will break at least twice to ask you if you have any questions. So if you're that type of person who loves to ask questions, or if you're a student of astrology, or there's some things that kind of went over your head and you want me to repeat it, please let me know. Make sure you put a bunch of question marks, because as you could tell, sister don't have her glasses, so I need to know when a question's a question. I'm asking a lot of you, aren't I? Actually, I'm really not, but I just want to know that y'all can help me out. You know what I mean? So I can help you. You help me, I help you, Ike. I gotta help you, Ike. Ike. Y'all remember that? All right, anyway. Let's get it started. Hello to D. I see you slipping on in here with your cute little Leo self. How's the babies and how's that lady doing? Y'all all right? Y'all married yet? Yes, please give me some thumbs up, some likes. I appreciate that, Roxy. There's a Scorpio making it happen. All right, so here we go. Let's get it started. Again, break out your notebooks and your pens so you can take some notes if you like. And we'll make this thing work. And so you can remember some information. Okay. So I don't know if anyone tell me by a show of hands or some yes, y'alls. I don't know who was present for my 2022 workshop, in which I offered up a lot of information going down. I did mention the eclipses in that workshop. If you didn't see it, it's worth going back, to be honest with you. It's probably a good 10 or 15 going back, but 15 videos going back. But go on and do that thing. If you were here, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, Marissa, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, so it's not going to be a lot of the same, but I did mention the eclipses there. And again, it's chock full of information. So I would love for you to go ahead and take some notes, all right? This year, what I mentioned in that video, I haven't seen it, but I do remember me saying that this was the year of love. This was the year of love in all kinds of ways. Why? Because of the number 222. Why? Because of the year of the tiger, the metal tiger. Why? Which I believe it is. I may be wrong. Don't quote me. I have to go back over my notes. But the bottom line is that this was the year in which we were supposed to get love all together, mainly the love of self. Everything that's been going down this year has been about the love of self, because we all know, quite honestly and quite elementary, that we can't love anybody unless we love ourselves. Shit, Mary J. Blige said it. Mary J. Blige said that thing. And so many other beautiful people. So this year of loving transformation began at the top of this year. But let's talk about 2 or 3 things that really kicked it off. And remember, I said this, and I will revisit some things for those that like to see my weekly rundowns. I will revisit some things, but not a lot. But this is where the love began. The love began around about that time that Uranus and the North Node came together. Absolutely, there were many things that happened before that, like Jupiter went into Pisces, which is going to go into Pisces again. There was a couple of other aspects that happened. But on the real, when Uranus and the North Node came together, not only was it about love, but it was about changing the perspective of who you are in order to see the love in you from the inside out, in order to treat everything in your life like love, in order to go shopping with love, in order to speak with love, in order to work with love, in order to pick your clothes out with love. And I mean that with everything. Uranus and the North Node coming together is not only about purpose, but it is about the love of your purpose. Why and how do you love yourself so much? You have been blasted on this purpose. Yo, put that in your pipe real quick. Tuck it in your bra real quick. Tuck it in your hat if you must. That's the point that I want to make throughout this entire freaking presentation, is that self-love comes with change. Self-love comes with some hard, arduous change. Self-love comes with some change like Uranus portends that looks really way out and weird and rebellious, and it comes up in ways in which we never, ever, ever expected. Sounds like an eclipse, huh? Yes, it is. The only thing about eclipses and its changes versus Uranus and its changes is that Uranus is all about changing to be different. Uranus is about changing to be different because it's bored. Changing to be different because it wants to invent some things. It wants to create something new. Whereas the eclipses and its change is about, yo, we've been sitting here way too freaking long. What's going on with my hair? We've been sitting here way too freaking long. We need to blast some things. We need to change up some things. We need to make sure that we do it all the way different in ways in which we have visited maybe like 19 years ago. Ooh, what's that? I'll tell you in a minute. Maybe 9 years ago. Ooh, what's that? I'll tell you in a minute. But the bottom line is that life, even in its changes and its evolution, and it's ways in which we continue to rediscover how we love ourselves, continues to evolve and comes right back in our faces the same way. Have you noticed that? We talked about that before here on YouTube. I know we did. Life is just this continuous spiral. But the thing about this spiral is that it goes up. It ascends. It makes you better, but you revisit the same thing over and over as my hand is hitting the same spots, right? But you're a different person. You understand? As you spiral up, as you revisit these changes, keep this in mind. For those that know me, know that I rock in a story kind of way to try to put this all together. And it seems maddening and sometimes a little funny, but it actually works and makes sense. Pay attention. Here we go. Pay attention. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Yeah, I should put that down there. All right. So in my notes, I have this. And when it comes to changes in the eclipses, first of all, that's what they are. We normally have 4 a year, 4 eclipses a year. Sometimes we have 6. About 3 years ago, we had 6. Prior to that, I don't think as I've seen in my lifetime more than 6. There has been borderline 7 where an eclipse came in like at the end of the prior year, which means that you felt all of those eclipses. But normally it's 4. And that's a good deal, right? That's how the universe works. The universe works in a way in which as long as I'm changing and I'm evolving you, the whole world, the whole solar system, who's ever in this space, this galactical space, is getting better as we evolve. Yes, yes? Y'all get that? Is my hair looking all right? Oh, thank you, Roxy. I was just looking at how dry and frizzy it kind of was. You know, my Leo rising be checking everything. Be like, hey, wait, hold on now. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get back in this thing. When it comes to eclipses, before we go into the specifics of what these eclipses are about, let me tell you how certain things can change in your life. Number 1, major events like divorces, like a baby being born, like a TV deal, a publishing deal, like major life events where when you look back, you go, God damn, that's when my life changed. This is when blah, 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 blah happened. When I had the baby, I gained 29 pounds. No, but the point of the matter is that major events happen in your life, which you can sit back both good and bad. And in my opinion, there's really no such thing. But there are people who like to measure life in that way, the good and the bad. It's both, it's all, it's integrated. Major events basically that help to turn your life in a new direction, that meet you at a crossroad and you go, okay, you go left, you did get this, you go right, you get this. You dig what I'm saying? Also, something always ends and something always begins, or something always can begin and something can always end. The bottom line is this: it's either a major event, it's either a ending, like you lose your job and then you get another job. You know, you find that your woman or your man is cheating, and then the next thing you know, you walk to Ralph's or you go into the Piggly Wiggly or some kind of store, Target or whatever, and you find out, you know, your soulmate is waiting in aisle number 2. You understand what I'm saying? Something always drops off, but almost immediately something begins. That's another change in which the eclipse can show up for you. Another way is like out of the blue, like you had no idea it was coming, but it was out of your control. A really good example that I read online was, for instance, if you're a record executive, or I should say, if you're an agent or a manager and you only have one client, but you put all your eggs in your basket with this one client or whatever, and next thing you know, the client finds another agent that's going to take less of a cut and promise them more projects and blah, 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 blah. Out of your control, that mug goes off and goes with the new agent, the number 2 agent. Again, out of your control. It's nothing you did. It's nothing you said. It has nothing to do with the work that you present. It's just that client wants to go and deal with something different. You understand what I'm saying? A third way in which the eclipse can show up. A fourth way is that things will speed the fuck up. Yep, the fuck up. What does that mean? The fuck up. Things can speed up. Like things that you thought, like for instance, oh, I thought, ooh, I just had a little aha moment about my own life. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to happen. Anyway, I'll use myself for an example, since I'll let y'all, I said it out loud. I don't want to leave y'all by yourself. So the thing about it is something happens like in a speedy kind of way, right? Like out of the blue. For instance, I'm planning on moving. I don't know when I'm going to move. I don't know how I'm going to move. I don't even know where I'm going to move. But I know I want to move. So if the new moon eclipse shows up in my 4th house, in which it does, if it speeds up an event, maybe next week I'll get a house. Somebody say, Sonja, I got a house in the middle of gosh darn Turks and Caicos, and I need you to live there for about 2 years. Wait, what? Can I bring my dog? You got Wi-Fi so I can talk to the people? Whereas there was an event that I thought that was going to switch and change my life in 2 years, possibly, maybe 3 years. It happens next month. You get what I'm saying? Speeds up an event. The last way is that an eclipse can hit you is through like truth and light. It sheds light on something. It brings something out of the dark and into the light. Again, this may be a negative or a positive situation. I'm the type of person, squirrel. And again, I just like to be funny and use myself as an example. I had an ex-dude one time, and I kind of felt he was cheating on me, right? This is how the eclipse worked in this situation, because I think the eclipse wasn't around. Plus, my prayers worked. So I went to bed. Before I went to bed, I said, God, show me what this dude is up to, and blah, 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 blah. Woke up the next day, out of the blue, shining its truth onto the darkness, into the light. Here comes his ex on my gosh darn social media. This is years ago. Here comes his ex going, he's been sleeping with me. Like, what? Shining truth, shining a light on something that you may or may not want to see. But if you ask for it, know and trust and believe, it's going to come right in your face. That's the time that we in. We need the light to shine on the darkness. We need all of the light to shine on. We need the lights to come on so the roaches are getting the fuck up out the bathroom. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about you, but I grew up with roaches. And when you turn on that light in the kitchen in the middle of the night, or when you got to pee in the bathroom, then all them roaches go scattering. At least you know the mugs are in there. At least you have the truth. At least the light is shining and giving you some kind of direction on where to not step and where to go. Does that make sense to you? Yo, this is how eclipses show up in any which way. But again, major shifts, so to speak, right? Now, listen, it can switch the way you feel about a certain thing, especially around the full moon lunar eclipse. Why? Because the full moon portends full energy of emotions on hilt, like on a hilt or tilt, on the tilt of the hilt. Why are you tilting the hilt? Whatever it's up there. So your emotions are on 1,000, right? So you can alter your emotions. You can alter how you feel karmically. Wait, how does that happen? Oh, maybe an eclipse can help you not be so mad about a particular thing that could have happened in another lifetime. That you're mad about subconsciously. It can alter those states of emotionality as well. That's deep. That's a whole hour right there. I'll be quite honest with you. But how you would know that is if you wake up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden you think of a certain person that would have gotten you upset or would have gotten your body tingling or angry or something, right? Normally, you wake up in the middle of the night and you think of that person, nada, nothing happens. You don't even blink. You see what I'm saying? So somehow, some way, possibly the eclipse could have switched up how you feel karmically and emotionally karmically about a person, because here's the real deal. That person or that instance that affected you emotionally in one kind of way triggered you based on what you went through karmically, you dig? Oftentimes, people making you mad, upset, glad, all of those different varied emotions have nothing to do with people, y'all. It has to do with triggers that they press in us, whether they're pleasant triggers or whether they are very angry and despondent triggers. You get that? So possibly, maybe, I hope y'all understand it. Yes, 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 yes. So possibly, maybe this eclipse will hit you in a way where you wake up and be like, I'm over that shit. I don't even feel that thing no more, emotionally speaking, because it's corrected some things deep down in your soul there, in your karmic soul understanding there. Y'all get that? Ask some questions if you have them, but wait till I ask, okay? Because I want to see them all in a little bit of block so I can answer them. All right, another way in which the eclipses affect you, or I should say, who may bring them? Women for sure. Women for sure. Whether these changes that I just explained to you, whether there's surprise or there's something that's not your fault or a major event, all those things I just listed, it can come through a woman. Maybe your mother gives you the news. Maybe your auntie gives you the news. Maybe the CEO of a particular company who happens to be a woman gives you the news that you got a new job in Thailand. Wait, what? Yes. Excuse me for burping. You understand? Why? Because the moon deals with feminine energy. Excuse me, and we're talking about the moon. The eclipse that's what's being mooned. That's what's being mooned. The eclipse is being mooned. The moon is being eclipsed. You know what I mean? The bottom line is that women can have something to do with that. Does that make sense to y'all? I really, 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 really hope so. Let's get down on into this thing, because again, I'm not trying to be on here all night, and I know y'all not. On the East Coast, it's almost bedtime. So we're going to make sure that we fly through this with enough understanding as possible of what's happening, okay? Now, here's where the note-taking comes into play. Understand this, and I think I mentioned this to you twice, 3, 4, 5 times before, but eclipses roll in series. I think the universe is brilliant like that, honestly, because if we're given an eclipse change, like, oh, you need to move to Thailand, or, oh, I found out that your boyfriend was cheating, or, oh, guess what? You're pregnant with 8 babies. Like, what the heck? That's an eclipse event for sure, right? The thing about the universe, though, is that the eclipses come up in these series. Usually, I'm going to try to say this right for the mathematicians, because I am not a mathematician. So I'm going to try to say this. Usually 3 sets of 2 signs. I think I did that. Meaning we are in the series of Scorpio and Taurus. So that means we're going to experience the Scorpio Taurus eclipse 3 times. Usually it happens between a span of 18 to 24 months. Okay, within that span, we get Taurus and Scorpio energy that is changing some things about us, depending on where they fall in your natal chart, depending on where they fall in your life. They're changing these things over a span of 18 to 24 months. So that first little jolt may feel like, God damn, but at the second little jolt within the same house, the same energy, it's like, oh, changed it a little bit more. Oh, that has to do with that first change that came. So for instance, oh, you're getting ready to move to Thailand next year. That's the first change. What? Second change, maybe it actually happens. Third change is when you actually get settled into place in the place and where you're at. Does that make sense for everybody? Hey, Sandflowers. Hey, Sandflowers. Does that make sense for everybody? The bottom line is that these three sets of these two energies that are flying through, again, is giving you the opportunity to get settled with those major changes that are happening, or else it can feel like literally like the rug is coming up out of you. Spirit is generous like that and quite graceful. Does that make sense? I'm trying to tell you. So this is the series. The series of Taurus and Scorpio began November 19th, 2021. All right, mister. Relax. 2021. It will end, the last set of Scorpio Taurus eclipses will end on October 28th, 2023. That is the last full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus at 5 degrees. Now, why am I really saying that? For two reasons. To let you know in a minute what that Scorpio and Taurus energy is about and the changes that are going on in each and every one of our lives in regards to the energy. And also to let Taurus people, Scorpio people, Aquarius, and Leo, especially if you have sun and rising in all four of those signs, to let you know the types of changes that are coming down on you even more. Now, Taurus and Scorpio, basically, they're going through the hardest changes, right? Because it's hitting their vibration. It's hitting the core of who they are. It's hitting their sun. It's hitting their ego. And ego gets a little bent out of shape when it has to change, especially Taurus energy, because Taurus energy hates to change. Get where I'm going, okay? So Taurus and Scorpio are being affected, especially the last year and a half or whatever, up until, like I said, the end of the series on October 28th, 2023. You get that? Aquarius and Leo, however, they are squared to the Taurus Scorpio energy. They get affected, and in a way in which changes are happening and they don't agree. Taurus and Scorpio may agree with it, even though it may be a little jarring, be like, what the fuck was that? But they end up landing on their feet in a sense, in my air quotes type of situation, because it depends on who you are. You know what I mean? If you don't like change, you're going to take it either up or down, good or bad, right? But with Taurus and Scorpio, it's about changing in the vibration in which you need to change for show. Right? We all kind of do, but it's hitting who you are. It's about changing yourself. Aquarius and Leo is square to that. So it's like, I'm hitting you who you are, but you ain't going to like the way I'm going to change you, because that vibration is against who you are, completely against who you are, Aquarius and Leo. Y'all need to know that the signs of all the eclipses that happen every year, trust and believe. Now, bust this. Your set of signs repeats every 9 years. The set of signs repeat every 9 years. So Taurus and Scorpio will have another set of eclipses 9 years, 8 to 9 years from now. Y'all got that? However, some never. Degrees are important in astrology. Okay? This is a lot of information. Take notes, but this is recorded, so you're good. In astrology, there's just details. So here's the other part of that. 19 years from now, you will be going through, Scorpio and Taurus, the same things that you've gone through or you're going through now. Give or take a little bit of here and there. I'm not saying you're going to move again if you're selected to move right about now. I'm saying maybe there is some kind of movement. Maybe there's talks of it. You understand? Maybe somebody's moving in with you, but your house will be affected in some kind of way. Why is that again? Because of the degrees. It's going to fall in the same degrees and the same placement in your chart 19 years from now. I obviously don't have everyone's chart, so I'm not reading from a specific standpoint. I'm reading from a general standpoint. However, Tauruses and Scorpios are on deck right now because we're in your season. We're in your series. Does that make sense? Y'all good? So far, so good? All right. Now, with that being said, Here's another little piece of information that I want to share with you, in which I think may go over some people's heads, but I'm going to try anyway, because that's my name. Sonja tries. I just jump right in that joint. Bust this. Not every eclipse is going to affect, not every Scorpio and Taurus eclipse is going to affect every Scorpio and every Taurus. Wait, Sonja, you just said that this is my season. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, you're going to get some on you. It's actually going to affect you, but those that are affected the most, okay? Those that are affected the most, I want you to pull out your charts if you're an astrology student, and if your sun and your rising is between 26 and 7 degrees of Scorpio or Taurus, then it's affecting you directly. If your sun or your rising is 11 to 21 degrees, now let me start all over. For this, where are we at? New moon solar eclipse. If your sun or your rising is between 26 and 7 degrees, so that would be 26, 27, 28, 29, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Between, for this new moon solar eclipse, you will be affected. For the full moon lunar eclipse, for Scorpios and Taurus, if your sun is between 11 degrees and 21 degrees, this is for people who know their degrees. I'm going to break it down and make it simple in a minute. Between 11 degrees and 21 degrees, then you will be affected the most. Taurus style and Scorpio style and Aquarius and Leo too. Yep. Do you know that? So I'm going to try to do the math on this thing. So that means people, no, I'm not going to do the math. I'm not going to do the math. I'm not going to do the math. Know your degrees. And if you don't, please go to ALABE.com. ALABE.com. Run your chart. Okay. You do not need for your, yeah, you do. You need your time, your date, and your place of birth. I was going to say that the planets will be, give or take, the right degree if you don't have your time of birth. So you can run it without your time of birth. If you want more specific degrees, please put in your time of birth. And then you will see the degrees of your sun sign. It will tell you on the chart. Okay? Get your questions ready in case you want me to repeat any of this information. Now, y'all ready? This is specifically what's going on. I love today. Kelly, I miss you. Makes you miss the hut. I miss you. Oh my goodness. I saw your sweet picture the other day. Lord have mercy. Again, get your questions ready. I'm zooming and I'm freaking squirreling out in my head because I just saw Kelly's name. Mwah. Hope you're well, sweetie pie. That sweet Sag. All right, here we go. So let's talk specifically what's happening today and then 2 weeks from now, all right? As a matter of fact, before we do that, let me ask if you have any questions, because after this part, I think we'll be done. We'll ask any more questions. Any questions? Anybody want to come on deck while I sip this orange juice? Anything that I've said already that you want me to repeat that makes sense to you, that doesn't make sense to you? Oh, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. In this commercial too, if you'd like to add to to my channel, if you'd like to donate for the information that's being received, the education that you are receiving, please go to my Cash App at $Sonja Kamau. That's $SONJA KAMAU. If you don't have Cash App, you can go to Venmo at Sonja SONJA Marie-1, or you can go to PayPal at SCRYBEBYSONJAMARIE@gmail. I appreciate that. Thank you, Keena. Does anybody have any questions? Can somebody please post the donations again? There you go. Please do not go to the monetization button here on YouTube. Cash App, Venmo, or whatchamacallit, or PayPal is the best. And the PayPal again is SCRYBEBYSONJAMARIE. What was the degrees for Aquarius rising? Thank you. So know that the degrees are both for Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio, okay? For the new moon eclipse today, happy new moon eclipse to you. For the new moon eclipse today, the degrees are 26, 27, 28, 29, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any of those degrees for your sun sign or your rising sign, you will be affected the most, and in particular, directly, okay? For the full moon eclipse, which is a whole nother set of feeling and meaning, and I'll get to them both in a minute, right? I'm going to answer these questions. It's 11 degrees all the way up to 21. So that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio. It may sound pointed for those 4 signs. It is, because it depends on the vibration and the energy in which the eclipses are in. However, Samneva, if you are not any of those signs or don't have risings for any of those signs, it doesn't mean you ain't going to get affected by these eclipses. That's for ding dong damn sure, because it all depends on where it falls in your chart. And it also depends on who lives in your house, because maybe you got an Aquarius or you got a Leo and they have some changes. They have a job loss. You're affected because that's less money coming in the house. You dig what I'm saying? So we are all connected in that way. Are there any more questions real quick before I keep it going? I really want to give you a chance to get all of this because somebody, okay, there we go. There we go. So defer? These stocks, what you talking about? So defer to the sun if moon is Leo and rise. Oh, are you definitely affected if the moon and the rise, if you have a moon in Leo and a rise in Aquarius? Heck yeah. And definitely depending on the amount of degrees, these Stokes, like I just said. Can you repeat those degrees again? I did, LaShonda. You want me to do it again? Oh, nappy conversation. What's up with you, honey pie? I miss you, Scorpio. Does this apply to any sign or just Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius? Very, very good question. It applies to the signs that I'm speaking of in this broadcast. You know why? Because those are the most harmonious, the Taurus and the Scorpio, and the more difficult, Aquarius and Leo. There are a few signs that are in between that have other aspects like sextiles and quincunx and semisextiles and oppositions. But if I talk too much about all of those in between, we'll be on here for forever. But understand this, if you do have signs in those particular degrees, you are affected in some kind of way. You would need to know the aspects to that, though. Is it an opposition? Is it a trine? Is it something different? You dig? Again, doing my best to take a huge concept of astrology and the way that it is and how big and how incredibly vast it is and try to condense it to almost an hour worth of information. Can y'all rock with me on that and give me a little bit of grace? I'd really appreciate that. So hopefully I answered your question. Everyone has Scorpio somewhere in their chart. That's the truth, the very truth, and nothing but the truth, Keena. All right. LaShonda, you good? I don't see you back up here. Does this apply to any sign or just Scorpio? We already just answered that. My son is a Gemini. Yeah, see, it gets tricky when I have to like give everybody specific and selected and pointed information, because then we'll be on here all day and night. I hope you understand that. Raven Grace, I believe. Is that Raven? Raven? Roxy, that's your daughter. Okay. Thank you, Angelique, the artist. Okay, I don't see any more questions, but I will go on. Hold your questions if you have them. And at the end of this, we're going to go further deeper into the questions. All right, here we go. So today's new moon solar eclipse, I absolutely love. Of course I do readings. Sonja, do you do readings? Yes. Oh, ain't that about a blip? I did forget that. I want to offer up a special, an eclipse special. Let me tell y'all at the end of this, though. I totally forgot to create that information, though. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to put that in the... So I'm going to do an eclipse special for an hour long for $200, and I'm gonna put the the link, the Calendly link, in the below, in the description box below. As soon as this is over with, listen, this only gonna last for 2 weeks because I don't do nothing less. I don't do anything that's below a particular amount of money. It takes a lot of energy out of me to do this, y'all. So I just wanted to say that. So $200 for an hour for the Eclipse special to see how it affects your particular chart. Yes, and very yes. At the end of this, I will go down. Thank you, Bijou, for saying that and reminding me. I will go down. I will put it in the description box below. All right. All right. Oh, thank you, Zena. Is that you, ZP? Is that Zena? All right. All right. I love y'all. Today, did I say it already 4 times? Is a great day. This new moon solar eclipse at 2 degrees Scorpio is on and popping. The reason why I like it is for a couple of different reasons, and I'm going to explain it to you. First of all, I love it because it's a new moon solar eclipse. And did you know that we do have new moons every month? We have a new moon every month and we have a full moon every month. However, the eclipses are like 3, 4 new moons in one. 3 or 4 full moons in one. The impact is that much greater. You dig? So the bottom line is this. The new moon solar eclipses always bring something new. That's what you need to have on the frontal lobe. If we were playing spades, that's where you put your trump card. That's the trump right now. If y'all know how to play spades, you don't expose the card, but you put it on your forehead sometimes to let people know, or to bluff people and let them know that you might have the big joker. The bottom line is that put that on your forehead, that the new moon is for new experiences, because it's a solar eclipse. It's coming big and magnanimous at you, like this new beginning that we are all about to embark on. It's not just some deep ass Scorpio shit. We're gonna talk about that again, but it's new. It's all new. So what's new when it comes to Scorpio energy? Now, this is it. What's new is that we learn how to love ourselves in ways in which we don't create havoc within ourselves. We learn how to get rid of old habits, old addictions, and start new habits. New somewhat addictions, all right, and focuses on where we need to go. This is new moon in Scorpio. New moon in Scorpio and the eclipse suggests new passion, new determined ways in which we move forward, new determined ways in which we stay connected, and we go to the extreme of a thing. We just don't stop. Whatever newness comes up in us for this 2 degrees Scorpio eclipse is coming in a way in which it won't end. And what I mean by that is something new will happen and we will see it to its end. Because that's how Scorpio energy works, to its end. Y'all understand that? Scorpio energy, new moon Scorpio energy has to do with different ways. I think I said this yesterday, and how to deal with crisis information. Again, this is so important. And one of the things in which I believe that we all share, because we have to learn, we are learning new crisis information or new ways to deal with crises. Sometimes we have to smile at a thing. Sometimes, we just walk on by a thing. Sometimes we just say a prayer about a person or a situation. I'm really good at that. To be quite honest with you, my default is God bless them. Before I can try to say anything negative about people, I just go, God bless them. I hope they're well. You know what I mean? You just push it on. But that's a way in which you handle crisis and emotional trauma and disturbances. Yo, remember, the full moon in Scorpio is not always, even when it's new, it's not always a happy-go-lucky kind of thing, right? Because a new moon in Scorpio can bring up new things in which we feel are traumatic in our lives, again, in which we have to shed light on. Bringing up our trauma, bringing up shit from way back in day. From who? From your mother, from your sister, from different women in your family or whatever that may have caused havoc or trauma, I should say, in your early part of your life. Why is it early part? Because the moon deals with early existence. The moon deals with expression and emotions, of course, but we live in our moon like the first 12 years of our lives. So that's a big deal. A lot of times we recorded emotional information within that time, mainly from our mothers. And if Scorpio, the new moon in Scorpio eclipse is coming up to show us, oh, this is the shit that was buried, Scorpio, like in regards to what your mother did, in regards to what this person did. And as it comes up, and goes to the surface, is asking that it be solidified. It asks that it be solved. It asks that you take this crisis, this possible crisis, and turn it in by using different tools, turn this traumatic situation into a healing situation, into a learning situation. Are y'all getting me? That's what this new moon in Scorpio on some eclipse steroid type shit is trying to show you. That you can take whatever happens in your life and flip it on its head with a gigantic different perspective in the way in which you can glow and not get depressed and fade away and into the darkness, so to speak. You get that? All right. With that in mind, with that card on your head, the new moon information in Scorpio, that trump that's sitting right there. All right. We have to relate this thing, this newness, to a couple of aspects that the new moon solar eclipse has. One is the moon is trining Black Moon Lilith. Wait, what? Anybody know about Black Moon Lilith? Please put your hands up. Yes, yes, y'all. Y'all know anything about Black Moon Lilith? You're welcome, Cicely. Please go on the Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. A couple of good people put the thing up there so y'all can donate if you like. Do y'all know anything about Black Moon Lilith? Yes, so? All right, Rachel, let me tell you something. Black Moon Lilith is being trined to this new moon solar eclipse. Wait, you mean it's a good thing? Because a trine is a good thing. A trine is harmony, right? You mean it's a good thing to start something new in a Scorpio-like kind of way as Black Moon Lilith is showing itself? Yes, Black Moon Lilith deals with shadows. Specifically, Black Moon Lilith deals with sexual repressions and the shadow sides, obsessive and destructive tendencies. It illuminates your inner bad bitch, whether you a man or a woman. It illuminates that thing that gets you up off the couch that says, you know, I could do this thing, right? It reveals facts of your power and your misfortunes and your suffering. Black Moon Lilith is tricky because, again, Black Moon Lilith to me, I don't know about y'all, but I just got that hit. Sounds like Scorpio energy anyway, right? Because Black Moon Lilith goes down and says, are you sexually repressed? Or do you like to just get it all on people? You ever see? Sonja is stupid. I swear to God, I'm not trying to make this a 3-hour thing. But you ever see like people who just are so sensual and free with their bodies, you know, with the art of touch, with the love that they give, the sexual love that they give. Honestly, they don't feel no ways about it. Even on a stranger, they put their big boobs on your neck. Hey, honey, how you doing? That's a very liberated Black Moon Lilith type of person, you dig? You understand what I'm saying? So if this new moon, let's use an example. If this new moon in Scorpio is saying, yo, you need to go down, you need to go deep to the depths of your emotions, to the depths of your trauma. New things need to happen for you to, and Black Moon Lilith, go down to that new thing, that new feeling of the depth that you travel. Black Moon Lilith says, when you do that, we're going to make these sexual repressions you have balance out a little bit. Love your big boobs on somebody's neck. With this new moon that's happening, it's going to illuminate the bad bitch in you. The new things that are coming your way right now is going to illuminate, for instance, maybe you have to go deep into your space of where your family hurt you and these traumatic things that are coming up. Well, the new moon in Scorpio says, go there, go deep to those traumatic things that happened back in the day before you was 12 years old, and allow it to illuminate the bad bitch in you. Allow it to wake you up in the middle of the night and go, you know what? We're gonna do a dance. We're gonna do a shimmy. You know what? I'm a badass bitch for living through that thing. Instead of feeling so down and out, oh my God. And I don't mean to get morbid, but I'm gonna go dramatic, y'all, okay? I was raped. I was this. I was that. He took my body from me. He violated me. He did that. He did. She did. They did all of those things. But how about this? New moon in Scorpio, trine in Black Moon Lilith says, own it. Own those shadows. Own that sexual repression. Own that trauma that wants to come up and turn yourself into a bad bitch because of it. Write a book about it. Have a class on it. Have conversations with your girlfriends and really express what that feels like. Squirrel, I had somebody laugh at another friend's misfortunes in a conversation one. It took my heart out my chest. Because and here's the thing, they laughed because they was nervous because it happened to them. Understand where I'm going. Is that when we have these kind of conversations, number one, we got to be gentle with one another. And number two, we need to allow it to come up and out without anybody saying nothing and giving their opinion. Even trying to ride with them is their opinion. Do you notice that? I'm going ham on this point real quick because a lot of stuff is going to come up for people. And when this stuff comes up, new moon Scorpio style, and hits this Black Moon Lilith, when the stuff comes up, now we got to know how to deal with it, right? So if it's your neighbor, if it's your boyfriend, if it's your sister, somebody in your house, if it's you that's dealing with all this traumatic stuff come up, sometimes as a healer, as a spiritual person, sometimes it's best not to touch them. Sometimes it's best not to even say anything. Do you notice that oftentimes when people have traumatic shit come up and they start to cry, as soon as you lean in to hug them, their tears diminish a bit? It's almost like they get their comfort from you and it gives them permission to just shut down. You understand? Because now they get the comfort. And although the person giving the comfort likes that, at the same time, all of their emotions didn't come up. Y'all following me? You snuffing them. So the bottom line, if this was to happen about anything sexual that happened in people's lives, about any shadow sides that people don't want to see, nobody wants to see their shadow sides come up. Any shadow sides that comes up for people, you understand what I mean? Let them have it. Just sit there and listen. Listen to people. Apologize. Say, I'm so sorry that happened for you, but don't touch them and don't offer up any types of solution in that moment, because the emotions, the moon has to have its way. It has to pull it all out like it's pulling it out of fucking like drain or something. Does that make sense to y'all? Yes, y'all? I like that this new moon solar eclipse, if y'all can't tell, I like that this new moon solar eclipse is trying in that Black Moon Lilith. We got to get the shit all out on the table, cuz all the good, all the bad, all the fucked up, all the thing, and love it. Go, yup, I was molested by my cousin. Yup, I was molested by this one. Yup. And it's the reason why I'm saying molested and rape is because Black Moon Lilith deals with sexual repressions. Let me reiterate that. So it has everything to do with that first and second chakra that you may be going through. Pull it all out, okay? And if you don't want anybody to know about it, because you may be a Scorpio or you may have Scorpio tendencies and y'all like to keep, things to yourself, write about it. Just don't read it back. Because if you read it back, you put the emotions back into your body. All right, I'm done with that. That's a big one, though. Yes, y'all? All right. The new moon also, solar eclipse new moon in Scorpio trines Juno. Who? Juno. I say that shit all the time because it's in my mind. It's a joke. And it may not be funny to two people on here, but to me, it's funny. The bottom line, Juno, I don't know. But Juno is an asteroid that deals with devotion. Specifically, it deals with the capacity to have meaningful relationships. I like notes. Deals with the capacity to have meaningful relationships. Juno is the goddess of marriage. Juno deals with daily interactions with love. Now, bust it. Venus is absolutely love. Y'all know that. Venus is love and money and value and worth and beauty, right? Venus is passion and desire. However, Juno is the asteroid that hangs around Venus in the sky, for sure. So here's the deal. Venus deals with the concept of love, Juno, but Juno deals with the daily dedication of love. Wait, what? I want to throw my book because I know somebody's like, wait, hold on. That's a whole nother thing. It absolutely is a whole nother thing because you can love a motherfucker, but you don't have to want to be around them all day and night. Can I get a yes, y'all? Can I get something as I sips my little orange juice with pieces of strawberry? Sonja, get a clean glass. You deserve a clean glass, girl. I do, but I just don't feel like washing it right now. Does that make sense? The difference between Juno and Venus? You gotta want to be around somebody. So if this new moon in Scorpio is bringing up some depth, staying with that meaning, right? Staying with that trump card, right? Bringing up some depth, some new depth that needs to come up, dramatic depth, some dedication, some determination, some passion, some new Scorpio shit coming to the edge, right? However it falls for you. Understand, I'm saying a few things, listing a few descriptions, but there are plenty more. Okay. Whatever resonates with you, go study a little bit more and figure out what the moon in Scorpio is all about. And the new things that come out of that is how it applies to you, if it applies to you. Bottom line is this new moon in Scorpio bringing up all of this shit, all of this stuff from the deck. It's trying in Juno, yes, to make you more aware of how you are giving your love on a daily basis. Yo, that's a huge motherfucking deal. Let me tell you why it's so huge. And it may seem like, okay, Sonja, whatever. No. Listen to what I'm saying. Even though I said Venus here, you may love somebody, but do you want to love them on a daily basis? You know what this is teaching us? Old school ancestor shit. Get this. You're going to be married to dude. You're going to be married to dude, but you don't want to be around him every single day, even when he fucks up, even when he farts, even when he leaves his tube socks on the kitchen table. You understand what I'm saying? Daily interactions is what Juno says. So this new moon in Scorpio is saying, learn how to be more connected to somebody on a daily basis. Show your devotion and loyalty when it comes to marriage, when it comes to connection, when it comes to being with someone. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That's why it's a big deal, because people don't have grace like that. People don't have patience like that any longer, including my goddamn self. I'm divorced. Understand that. Sometimes we don't have that daily thing of like, oh, I got to deal with this thing over and over again. Yes, that's what marriage, that's what connection and partnership is really, really about. Kina said, I'm a runner. So I don't know where the fuck her Juno is. Her Juno is squared by a whole bunch of other planets. And I'm not laughing at you being a runner. I'm laughing at the fact that astrology in my head, I was like, okay, so what's that look like? Oh gosh, that made me sweat. That's a big deal though. Y'all get that, right? Again, new stuff coming up to make you more dedicated to love. Because some people need to know what that looks like. Again, you just can't abandon people. You just can't cancel motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like the old folks used to say, like, you got to be in it. You're going to be in it, be in it. Be in it. I'm not saying be abused, y'all. I'm not talking about obvious shit. I'm talking about things that require a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of understanding, a little bit of compassion, some real focus and pointed communication. Understanding people. You understand? Putting yourself in everybody else's shoes. That's dedication of Juno, you dig? She's the goddess of marriage. How does that look for you? Even if you're not married, how do you dedicate yourself to something and partner up with something? That's what that means. You get that? Am I exposing Scorpio's mysteries? No, Nia, I'm not. The last aspect of this new moon Scorpio, and then I'm going to go over to something different, to the full moon next. The last aspect is new moon, 2 degrees Scorpio's quincunxing Jupiter. I feel like a broken record with this thing, because truly, if you listen to my weekly rundowns, you will know that we've been talking about somebody quincunxing Jupiter going reverse. Everybody quincunxing Jupiter going reverse. And I keep saying it over and over in my mind. Why aren't people, including myself, understanding how big and bad they are? Jupiter going reverse means that we have to review our blessings, review our gifts, review our opportunities, review the optimism within us, review our propulsion to do a thing. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic for this new life. The new moon in Scorpio brings up new life, but it can bring up new trauma. It can bring up new dedications, like I just explained. It can bring up all things Scorpio. Again, purpose, passion, sexual connections. You understand what I'm saying? How we deal with self-crisis and all of that, dig? These new things that are coming up, it's like an irritation to your gifts. Wait, hold on. For instance, so maybe, new moon in Scorpio brings up a new sexuality. I'm just going to say this. It could be somebody here on it. It ain't me. Just letting you know. It could be somebody here on our broadcast because this hit me real hard. Maybe somebody has decided they're going to be bisexual or they're going to be gay. You understand what I'm saying? A new form, Scorpio, sexuality, sensuality, passion, determination, how you express your sexual nature. That's all Scorpio in new ways, in an eclipse like, big, magnanimous like, in a new way. Well, it's kind of irritated by our gifts though. What does that mean? That means if I come out and be gay, if I come out and be bisexual, then I can't work at, I don't know, Sephora anymore. That's a fucking poor ass example. The reason why I said it like that, because, okay, Sephora is all girly, girly. And it's a blessing to have this Sephora job because it pays you $90 an hour. I want in there. I'm giving examples, but here where I'm going. But you being gay or bisexual and how you look, your trans look, or whatever the case may be, again, it may seem like a poor example, but just go there with me. The way you look and your newfound sexuality, new eclipse, new moon solar eclipse, doesn't go along with this blessing of this $90 an hour job. Does that make sense? So there's an irritation about that thing. Well, how am I going to be myself? How am I going to show these new depths of who I am, Scorpio-like, if I can't utilize it with my gifts, with the gifts that I've been given? Don't be irritated by it. Be bold. Don't be irritated by it. Be bold. Be bold enough to live in this new moon Scorpio eclipse energy, regardless if it feels like it's going to go against a gift or an opportunity or a situation that brought you happiness. Just keep forging, and the happiness will find its way back to you. The opportunity will, so for instance, going with Sephora, the opportunity, all your co-workers, and after a while will be like, you know what? She's kind of manly like, but she can sell them that bright lipstick. You see what I'm saying? That's how it's going to go down. After a while, it'll subside and the irritation will leave. But believe in your gifts, and more importantly, believe in this change that this new moon in Scorpio is bringing. Please and very please. Is that deep, Sandflowers? I'm trying to tell you. All right, my puppy is really, really hungry. She's over here licking empty bowls. So we're going to have to go through this thing really quickly, as quickly as I possibly can. The full moon lunar eclipse in 2 weeks is not as delightful and or promising in some ways as this new moon solar eclipse is for today. Oh, Mystic, I hate when she does that because I feel like I'm neglecting her. She'll be fine. She won't die, right? Give me 15 minutes. 15 minutes, Mystic, and then I'll feed you, okay? Okay? Normally, the full moon lunar eclipse compared to the new moon solar eclipse is always a little bit more emotional because it's a full moon lunar eclipse. It deals more with emotions. It's the swelling of emotions, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning of this forecast. So not only that, it deals with emotions, but it deals with the endings of things. Remember, this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus will be 16 degrees, right? So this is the first thing. Bust this. There's a stellium of Scorpio information. Nope. There's a stellium of Scorpio information, and there's two particular planets, or I should say a planet and an asteroid in Taurus. That's what's being affected by this full moon lunar eclipse, 16 degrees Taurus. We're starting with this. That full moon lunar eclipse will conjunct Uranus, going retrograde. Wait, what? Yep. At the same time, it's going to conjunct the North Node. Wait, what? Yes. Listen, May 31st, Uranus and the North Node came together at 19 degrees Taurus. Y'all remember that? Hands up. Yes, yes, y'all. Anybody remember that? We talked about this at the beginning of this particular broadcast. That's how things tie together. Bust it. First of all, eclipses are done, or I should say eclipses of the moon. The North Node is the nodule for the moon. So wherever the North Node is, the eclipses will be in as well. That's it. I'll be done in a minute. Wait. right? So here's the deal. With that full moon lunar eclipse that's happening, that's going to be a lot more emotional. Oh, the trump card that's on your forehead for this particular eclipse is the quality of life. Full moon, the endings that are happening, that are culminating, and that are coming to an end is to only bring you a better quality of life. I'm going to sound like a broken record because that's why Uranus and the North Node are coming together. Wait, May 31st, yes, they came together. We did a special on that to see where you're going, what you're changing in your life almost immediately within this year to put you on your purpose. If you didn't get that reading, that's okay, but it was actually really, really divine to share that information with everybody. Now, bust it. This full moon in Taurus that's happening in 2 weeks will solidify that, because it's a conjunction to Uranus and the North Node. It's on the same level. Uranus is in Taurus. North Node will be in Taurus. The full moon lunar eclipse will be at 16 degrees Taurus. They're all partying. So Uranus and the North Node said, yes, we're going to come together to change you and put you on your purpose. And the eclipse said, well, in case you didn't remember what you were supposed to do and the purpose that you were supposed to be on, I'm going to fuck everything up, emotionally speaking, around about November 8th when that full moon lunar eclipse is happening, so you can remember. Boom. Yo, can I get a yes, y'all out this month? Because that makes me so hot. The reason why is because the universe is continually reminding us that we got shit to do. We are changing to be better. And every now and again, something magnanimous, something huge happens to remind us, hello, the full moon lunar eclipse again, sitting right on top of Uranus and the North Node going, no, what needs to happen, emotional endings need to happen in regards to how you eat, Taurus. So maybe your purpose is to lose some weight. And here's the last little, or I should say another little nail in the coffin to say, you got to stop eating bread, motherfucker. Like, it's the bread. Can I tell you again, it's the bread? If your purpose is in life to knock down your high blood pressure, that full moon is going to tell you in a very emotional way, yo, stop with the fried chicken. Stop with the salt and the extra salt. Y'all hear where I'm going? It's going to solidify why you need to make that change. I love astrology. I love astrology. All this is perfect and all of this is divine. It's a matter of us paying attention and listening. And if that full moon lunar eclipse is going to cut some things off out of your life in a way that's going to make you better quality of life. Why do I say that? It's because it's Taurus. Taurus is about better quality of life. Taurus loves money. Taurus loves food. Taurus loves to be methodical and strategical. Maybe whatever's ending for you emotionally will help you to build new strategies. Help you to build new strategies and new plans to methodically get to where it is you need to go. Maybe you need one more reminder. No. You got to use this instead of this tool in order to get to where you need to go, in order to be purposeful, in order to go in your new purpose. Y'all get this? Yo, this is so necessary. Ask questions if you need to. Again, this full moon lunar eclipse at 16 degrees Taurus, and I do notice squirrels, sometimes I may misspeak. If I do, don't charge my head, charge my mouth. Because I listen back to my videos sometimes and I'm like, no, Sonja, full moon, not lunar, not new moon, not this one. Because I talk so fast sometimes. But no, this is the full moon. This is the full moon lunar eclipse that I'm talking about. That's going to be incredibly emotional. As will be in conjunction to Uranus in the North Node. Just went ham on that. But it will also be in opposition of a stellium, a Scorpio stellium. The South Node, Mercury, and Venus. All of those will be in Scorpio, directly opposite the full moon lunar eclipse. So that means this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, doing its best to bring up emotional information, to bring us a better quality of life, to stop eating, to stop being so goddamn stubborn about certain things, to have a better perspective and focus on what we need to do in life. You hear what I'm saying? Right? It's going opposite our South Node. Balance out the fact that where you came from, that comfort zone, it wasn't for naught. It was not for naught. I'm going to explain that. Oftentimes we feel like our comfort zone and the things that we're used to doing, the things that we can do with our hands tied behind our back, the things that, we take for granted, quite honestly. You know what I mean? Sometimes we think we don't need those things. We don't need those things any longer. Well, this full moon lunar eclipse is opposite this comfort zone going, no, not only do we need the comfort zone, you need to know that these endings are happening because you recognize that you're in the comfort zone. There's a balancing act that's happening. These full moon situations are coming to an end because we need to balance out how you deal with that comfort zone, how you deal with the information that you just went through, how you deal with the love that you just had, how you deal with the love that's no more, but you had to learn from it, how you deal with the jobs that you had, but you had to learn from it, how you deal with how you lost all your money, how you deal with traumatic situations because it's in Scorpio. You have to learn from it. Scorpio will bring you down to the bottom, cuz. Scorpio will show you how many things you thought you was dealing with, but there's 20,000 things more. How about that? Because Scorpio keeps going sub-level. So there's a balancing. You understand what I'm saying? Of what it is you thought you lost, your comfort zone and what you thought you knew with the things that has to go. Does that make sense, or did I just confuse you? Man, get your questions ready. That north node, my bad, that south, Sonja, get it together. The full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, Taurus, my bad, at 16 degrees is also opposition Mercury in Scorpio. Definitely not what you're thinking, but balance out what Scorpio intellect is trying to show you. Scorpio intellect says, not only go deep, ask emotional, deep questions to bring you up out of the trauma. I hate that I'm using the same words, y'all, but it's good sometimes to reiterate so y'all can get the feeling and the vibration of what these two energies are bringing. You understand? So the Scorpio intellect says, go deep so you can end all the things that you need to end to bring you a better quality of life. Go deep into your thoughts. Ask those deep questions. Ask those questions that you wanted to ask your mother, that you wanted to ask your auntie about your uncle fucking with you, or you wanted to ask this one and that one about such and such and such. Mercury, questions, understanding, plans, strategies will be opposition the full moon in Taurus. All the things that are coming to an end, trying to balance that thing out. I don't want to go way, way deep with the questions because it'll fuck up my quality of life. Well, a lot of things are leaving anyway. So you might as well ask the questions so you can get clarity. You might as well speak the deep thoughts and the deep feelings so you can get clarity. Write those letters. You understand what I'm saying? Write the books, all mercurial things. Communicate what you need to do so there can be some balance and some clarity to why these things are ending in the first place. This makes sense? Yes, y'all? Did I confuse you? The last thing, one of the last things is also opposition Venus. Wait, that's a stellium. There's a South Node Scorpio, there's Mercury in Scorpio, and there's Venus in Scorpio. All opposition the full moon in Taurus on November 8th. The eclipse, that is. So if the eclipse is opposition Venus, the eclipse may emotionally threaten the value of the depths of a thing, money, beauty, etc. Venus is about money, value, beauty, passion, desire. Remember that, right? And Scorpio, again, it wants to go deep. We are getting to the bottom, y'all. Ooh, I love it. I love it personally because I don't mind getting to the bottom. And because Scorpio and me and Pisces, we rock. You got to find out where water is in your chart if you don't like going deep. This is a little squirrel moment. Because I know all of these deep thoughts, these deep understandings, and I keep saying deep, whatever deep means to you, right, may throw some people off. But understand this, the deeper you go, the more you heal. The more you heal, the better you receive, the better you feel, and the more evolved you'll become. Understand that. So if you're that type of person and you don't know where the deep is in your particular chart because you're Gemini or you're this, you're an air sign, you don't really want to pay attention to how deep things is, look to the water in your chart. What two houses or what planets have to deal with water signs or are in water signs? You get that? That's how you're able to resonate with this depth. So if the full moon lunar eclipse is opposition your Venus, if the full moon lunar eclipse is opposition your Venus, everything that's leaving the full moon lunar eclipse that's leaving is trying to balance out what you think is valuable in your life, trying to balance out the money that you make, the beauty and the desire and the passion that you have. For what? For all things deep. Because listen, if this shit is leaving my life, then I need to know what I can rely on. I need to know what I can rely on. That Scorpio Venus, Scorpio energy is about devotion, about loyalty. In Venus, what can I rely on passionately? When these things leave, how can I build myself up passionately? What matters to me? How much money can I make? And not that money matters, but money is about Venus because it shows you your worth. It shows you how much you feel you're worth. $2 or $2 million, motherfucker. Well, full moon lunar eclipse is leaving. These emotional things are happening, getting out of the way. I think I'm worth $1 million out this bitch. You understand what I'm saying? Pumping you up. It may not be as pretty as this new moon solar eclipse that's happening today, because 2 weeks from now, it'll be more emotional. That's how these changes are happening, you dig? Affecting Uranus and North Node, affecting your South Node, affecting how you think, your brain, affecting your value in Venus, you dig? It may come with a little emotional caveat, you dig? May come with a tear here. It may come with a little argument here or there, but in between all those emotions, look for the truth. Look for the light in it all. Have you ever been in an argument with somebody and in the middle of the argument, you start realizing that they right, but you keep the argument going anyway because you're fully invested. So you're going to keep talking wrong. You're going to keep arguing and shit. But in your mind, you're like, actually, they are right. I probably should be doing X, Y, and Z. That's what this full moon lunar eclipse is going to feel like in regards in the opposition and the conjunctions to these things in 2 weeks. Is that the emotions will come up, the shit will come up, and you'll realize this is hard, but it's actually what I need. Oh my God, this pain feels right. I had to say that. And then lastly, full moon lunar eclipse. My puppy is starving. Full moon lunar eclipse is also squaring. This is probably gonna be the hardest thing. It's squaring Saturn. Uh-oh. So whatever's leaving in 2 weeks, whatever is leaving, full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, it's gonna square. It's gonna go against all the work that we did. It's gonna go against the new plans that you have. It may go against the boundaries. It may threaten your boundaries every once in a while. It's going to challenge your dad's stuff for sure. What lessons you have to learn around your dad, what he did teach you, what he didn't teach you. I know, Mystic. I know. What he did teach you and what he didn't teach you. You understand? What are these fears that are coming up for you? That full moon lunar eclipse in a very, very emotional type of way will square any of these feelings, any of these fears that are coming up. That's going to be a doozy, y'all. That's going to be a doozy. And it's also going to, I like that. Okay, I forgot about that note. It's also going to force you to work differently. Everything that's leaving, the full moon energy that is leaving, that's getting out of the way to make space for a better quality of life, will challenge how you feel about humanity or how you felt about humanity in another day and time. Meaning that now that all this trauma is coming up, you're going to have to include other people now. It's not just about your trauma. Actually, you and your cousin and your sister and your mother was all fucking, violated by the same dude. Now it comes up. Now it's about the group. Now it's about humanity. Whereas you want your emotions to be about you and you want a certain thing to end, full moon, eclipse in Taurus, you want a certain thing to end and feel better so you can have a better quality of life, but it affected all these other people too. And the reason why I say all the other people, because Saturn is in Aquarius and it deals with people. So it's the structure of the people. It's the fear and the lessons that came up around the people, around a group of people. Ooh, that's gonna look crazy. So everybody could possibly have an emotional eruption and pointing fingers on everybody else. But hey, don't freak out. Place your boundaries in place. You understand what I'm saying? work a little bit differently, pray a little bit differently. Saturn says, deal with your lessons a little bit differently. We don't have to scream out. We don't have to point fingers. We don't have to shame anybody. We just got to learn what those fears and those lessons are and shit. And don't get crazy about it, but it's going to be hard. You don't get crazy about it. You take it as it comes. Does that make sense? That was probably a little confusing, but ask questions. I kind of got a little distracted in my brain because my puppy needs to eat. And she's just like, I'm trying to be patient with you, but lady. Okay, any questions? We are done. That's all the information that I have for you, but I want to clear up any misunderstandings, any cloudy moments that you may have had in your brain. With my team, well, who's that? I said goodbye to my cat unexpectedly this weekend. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I can't imagine how things could be more emotional 2 weeks from now. I've been looking for the truth in this experience since it started. Listen, understand this though, and I'm glad you said that on some level, because eclipses can affect you on the day of today and November 8th, which is the full moon, or it can affect you within the 2 weeks, or thirdly, it can affect you 6 months from now when it's 180 degrees away. I know that sounds weird, but in astrology, it's either on the day that an eclipse affects you, it moves over just a little bit and it's within a couple of degrees, so within the next 2 weeks, or the geometry has to go out of play for a minute and then has to make a 180-degree turn for it to reverberate and go right across the circle to where that eclipse started. And then it can happen 6 months from now. That's how that works. I hope that makes sense. Oh, you got it, Shamia? Great. I'm so great. I'm so happy, rather. No questions? Please ask any questions that you may have, y'all. I really, really appreciate that. If this information helped you, please share it with someone. Share the link. You can send me a donation on a Cash App, $Sonja Kamal. PayPal, Scribe by Sonja Marie, but you spell Scribe, SCRYBEBY, SONJA at Gmail. That's on PayPal. And then Venmo, Sonja-Marie-1. I'd really appreciate it. There's a question. All right. Hold on, Mystic. Let's get one of these questions out. I feel like I have a lot of, wait, that's not a question. Wait, there it is. If this solar eclipse feels heavy for me right now, does that mean that the lunar eclipse in November will feel even worse, in your opinion? Zoe, that's a very, very good question. Unfortunately, I can't answer it. Why? Because this is where it gets hairy, right? This is a general read. This is just what's in the sky, right? And not only that, I did my best to take it one level down to tell y'all what's in the sky, but also how it's affecting everything else in the sky. The other layer of that is how it affects your particular chart. So I would say if you'd like to take advantage of this eclipse special that I'm going to leave a link, a Calendly link in the description box below this video as soon as we finish. $200 for an hour. I can tell you how the eclipse is going to affect you specifically. If you don't want to spend the $200, that's okay. Figure out where 16 degrees Taurus and 2 degrees Scorpio is in your particular chart. You don't know your chart, you can either go to Cafe Astrology or you can go to ALABE.com and you can pull up your free natal chart, okay? ALABE.com. I hope that makes sense. Well, I hope you got that. All right, any other questions? Thank you for asking that, though. Astrology is so tricky. And I really do my best to try to keep it funny and keep it general, only because it's way too detailed. The information is way, way too detailed. And some of you may not feel any of this. You'll just witness it on everybody else, right? Some of you may feel all of it, but it's always good to have the, in my opinion, to be aware and have the emotion. Have the information. That's what I meant to say. All right, y'all. Y'all some smart ass mugs. Y'all have no questions? All righty. Wait, here's one. You said to go deep. Can we do this now or in 2 weeks with the full moon? What do you mean, Chandra? You said to go deep. Can we do this now or in 2 weeks with the full moon eclipse? Are we going deep now? The depth is done started. The depth done started when goddamn Scorpio season came in this weekend. But because of the new moon today in Scorpio, yeah, the depth is. I think I understood that properly. The depth done started, sweetie pie face. Love you too, Angelique, the artist. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for any donations, even the donation of love and energy. I appreciate that too. All right. That's good, Monica. Wait, who's the person? Chandra. Did that answer your question? I hope so. I love you too, Vaughn. I hope to see you sooner than later. All right. All right. Then I'm gonna get off this thing. We did it in an hour and 30. That's not too bad. Hour 25 to be exact. Listen again, share this video, let people know what's going down. I like this new moon today, and I even like it in 2 weeks. It's just gonna be a little emotional, and it's gonna do its best to move that shit out the way. It's time to move it all out the way. Thank you, Shamir. Move it all out the way so we can get going. 2023 is the year. And see, I'm like that, right? I'm weird like that. Is that I like to wait to the year. I like to wait to the month. I like to wait to the week and closest enough to the time to actually do a goddamn broadcast or to find out the information. Why? Because like I said 1,000 times before, I want to live. And astrology, sometimes you can get into your own brain and be too smart for your own good, and you continue to watch it every single day on a daily basis. You start to create things in your mind and in your life based on what you continuously read. I don't want to do that. I just want to live life and then refer to the sky if I need to. This is my way of keeping us informed of what's going on with the sky. And you can listen to it, take it however you need to take it, listen to it later or whatever, but at least you are aware. Does that make sense? The 55 thumbs up, I am so, so grateful for. The 60 people that are still in here hanging with me, thank you so much. On the East Coast, because it's 9:27. I appreciate you hanging on. I know you yawning. Go to bed now. And everybody here on the west side of things, go and get some dinner. I'm going to feed this baby too. Much love to you all. Much, much love to you all. You're welcome, Sandrine. I love you, Nemo. And I'll see you all next week on Monday for our weekly rundown. Thank you again. I appreciate you being here.